Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. It's been about a week since I posted a video, and today what we're going to discuss is regarding the One UI 3 from Samsung, that is Android 11 beta that Samsung has started rolling out. So in India the beta appeared first, at least for my Note 20 Ultra and my wife's Note 20, last Thursday. So it's been like 3 days I'm using the phone on the One UI 3.0 beta. Now this won't be a review per se, because you'd find quite a lot of those already up, especially from people who are using the S20 series, because they're already on beta 2. However, for the Note, it's the first beta that we've received. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about it from a daily user or a daily driver perspective, so that you know whether upgrading to it is something you should do, or you should avoid the betas for the time being and use whatever you're using, that is One UI 2.5 on Android 10. So without further delay, let's dive in and see what are the changes. So as you can see, this I've already installed the beta. This is the first beta, so I'll show it to you over here. So if you see about phone and software information, it shows Android 11 and One UI 3. Now let's go and see what are the changes and whether it's worth it or not. So first off, once you swipe down, you'd see that previously it used to come half screen and then you have to drag it further down, but here the moment you drag down the notification bar, it covers the entire screen, and the background is kind of translucent, so it gives you a bit of a view of the wallpaper that you have set. And same is similar, you have a similar theme when you access the task manager. Other than that, one of the major changes that Samsung has made, which I did not quite like, is if you are using a dual SIM phone, and previously if you would click on a contact, let's say on this one, you'd get an option to call either using SIM 1 or SIM 2. You'd get both the options, but with the current version they have removed it, which makes it quite difficult. So the only option is, you'd have to go here and choose always ask. Only then it will ask you from which SIM to make the call. Else, if you have like a specific SIM for specific contacts, what you can do is you can first add them to contacts, and while adding them, or rather after adding them, you'd get an option. I'll show it to an existing contact. So for, let's say for this contact, I click on this I button, and here you'd have an option call with a default SIM. So if you click on that, it will give you the option to choose either SIM 1 or SIM 2. I did like the previous method better. This is kind of a bit, I wouldn't say complicated, but yeah, it's not really user friendly, so I did not really like it. And the second biggest problem is with the theme service. So I landed myself in such a big problem that I was not able to restart the phone for like 30-35 minutes. It was kind of that much unresponsive. So let's say if I go ahead and try to apply a theme, it immediately give you a warning. The theme isn't optimized for your system software, so parts of it may not look quite right. If I go ahead and do that right now, it's like the UI just simply starts crashing. I've reset the phone just to see if it is an issue with let's say just an upgrade from 10 to 11, but no, that is not the case. The software isn't that stable as of now. Another thing that I did not quite like is previously in a folder you'd have 4 icons in a row. Now they have reduced it to 3 icons in a row, and it doesn't really, it takes up a lot of screen space. What used to be present in a single folder. I have to swipe between pages now to access those applications. I mean, it's not really very efficient usage of the screen. I mean, that's what I felt. Other than that, I did not really find too many changes. Yeah, another change that you would have is, let's say if you go ahead and touch and hold an app, so you'd get the options over here. I mean, if that app has widgets, you'd get that option. So let's say for Chrome, if I go ahead and do that, come on. So you'd see the option of widgets at the end, and you would also have the option to open a new tab or an incognito tab directly from the icon. So yeah, that is a good feature that I did really like. Other than that, battery backup has been a mixed bag. I really do not care much about battery backup these days because most of the time I'm indoors, so doesn't really matter if I have to charge it twice in a day or something. But yeah, I mean, with a beta, I do expect to have less battery backup as compared to a normal run-of-the-mill application or a normal release. Other than that, I mean, no such major changes has been made from Samsung. Yeah, even the settings screen, I mean, it has a pretty good look. You have kind of specific areas demarcating what settings they are doing, and you would have your user profile being listed at the top. I mean, the general UI, yes, I mean, if you go to messages, it also has that different kind of a look. And let's say if you're going to go ahead and delete a message, you'd get the option to now move it to the recycle bin. This was not there, and this I felt was a useful feature because sometimes it does happen you accidentally delete something and then it gets permanently deleted. Other than that, you have another option, more options, which is like pin to top. If you have a specific contact or specific messages that you want to be at the top of the messages list, you can pin it to the top. Other than that, I mean, not much to talk about. It's kind of the same UI. The UI has been, yeah, the design has been improved a bit, but the software is, I mean, I have used betas since Samsung started them in India, I believe from S8 or S9, and I haven't had such an unstable build till now. I mean, a lot of parts are not really working, especially if you apply a theme, the phone goes into such kind of unresponsive state. It's really difficult to recover it from that point. So if this is your only phone, or rather if you are planning to update or install the beta on your daily driver and that is your only phone, I would say stay away from it. You can land up in a lot of problem because the phone might get unresponsive and things might not work as expected. And as I saw, if you're using a dual SIM, it's a mixed bag. It's not how it used to be previously. And also when you end a call, previously it would give you the option to, let's say I'll just call a random number. So once I end the call, you used to get the option of SIM1 and SIM2 over here. Now they have stopped giving that option as well. So think about these things. I have another phone, so if there are some major issues, I can always switch back to that and then probably flash the phone again or do something. But if this is your daily driver, think about it, go through the video again, probably think and see if you really want to try it out at this current stage and then install. So that's it friends for this video. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, please click on the like button and do subscribe to my channel. This will inspire me to make such more videos in the future. Thank you guys. Goodbye.